So, plant slant, put more fruits, legumes, and vegetables on your plate. That sounds like a good idea to me.
Indeed. Well, when I teach the mindful eating classes, people often ask me for a diet.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned this before. And the first thing I say is don't eat anything that's not food. If it's a bunch of chemicals, it's not food. Stop that. That's empty calories. And then, for quite some time, when I grew up, there was the basic 5 food groups. Mm-hmm. And then it has become a divide your plate so that you have a quarter of each of the main things, and the big focus is on fruits and vegetables. So even in conventional medicine, there's a recognition of how important this is for heart health, reduction of cancer, reduction of GI disease. Mm-hmm. And so when Dan Buettner discovered in the blue zones that he investigated that this was a part of their formula for longevity, it's kind of no surprise because that's actually been recognized for quite some time. So this is yet one more angle to recognize this. And the thing that I run into most often when I talk about plant slant is people who say, I cannot give up my meat. I have had meat my entire life. And it's really important to know that this is not a request to give up meat. Mm-hmm. It's a request to not make that the main food that you eat. Meat, when it's overdone, literally just putrefies in your system. I mean, if you saw what was going on in there, you would really change. I'll never forget, this is a bit gross maybe, but the cadaver that I worked on when I was in medical school. Mm-hmm. We had to make diagnoses as we went along, and when we cut open the aorta, there was so much. It was like, when you fry chicken in a lot of fat and the skin is really oozing.
Okay.
That's what the inside of his aorta was.
Oh, no.
It was just oozing. And I thought, my God, if people would see this, they would stop eating meat. But as it is, if you just make the choice to, if you eat meat every day, 1 day a week.
Yeah.
Make it beans and cornbread.
How do you feel about bridge foods? Like the fake meats?
Yes.
How do you feel about
I
that?
think for those who are really, I use the word stuck, in meat eating and can't get out of it, it helps the psyche to feel like you're eating something that you're familiar with. We don't use that, my husband and I, because we're so accustomed to eating mostly vegetarian. At home we are 100% vegetarian. We have been for decades. And so for us, in fact, if anything, it's a little bit of a turnoff. But for those who really love their meat, it's helpful as an in-between. And they're complete protein, so they don't have to worry about combining foods.
Well, it certainly has been for me, and I think that's perfect. Thank you, Mary Ann.